You're watching Soul Sisters on Pure Soul, powered by Isaac Hayes on Dash Radio.
Radio. I'm Yama Brown.
I'm Heather Hayes.
And we are
Soul Sisters.
Soul Sisters has a special guest today. Necole Kane.
Hi everybody.
How are you?
Good.
So, thank you so much for visiting us today in studio.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, my familiarity with you is, of course, Necole Bitchie. That's the first thing that I remembered. So, of course, I did my research. I was like, oh, that's the same, girl. So let's just give our audience, our listeners, how you kind of started on that particular path.
Okay. Well, it's funny because my journey started kind of here in Atlanta in 2008. I started my blog. I was living in an aunt's guest room, and after about a month or so, she thought I was playing on the internet all the time. And she was like,
girl, what you in there doing?
Right, I'll let you come and stay with me, but you're on the internet all the time. She didn't understand I had started the blog. I'm trying to get the design together, get my readership up. So she told me I had a month or she, make me leave. And I left that weekend, and I came down to Atlanta. A friend of mine allowed me to sleep on her couch, and I started. My career as a gossip blogger springboarded here because I used to go to Lucky's Lounge. I think I met Isaac and all these people, and I was blogging about events, and Atlanta really embraced me and really elevated me into almost superstardom. So I started my career as a gossip blogger here in 2008, actually. So it's been 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
I remember I used to be like, well, how do you get started doing that? That was just, but it became really because of the internet.
Go out in Atlanta and start writing on these.
Yeah, and that's the thing. At the time, I was the only blogger out that was showing her face. So I'm showing up at events, and then people are being familiar with me. I'm putting the promoters' events on. I'm putting celebrities on the site, and so that helped really get it out there.
So what do you think about blogging when you started as opposed to how it is now? What do you think is different about it?
I don't know, because it's a lot of Instagram blogging, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to be a blogger now, especially celebrity blogger, because your cousin is blogging about an award show.
Right.
Her classmate, everybody is putting a picture up from an award show or something that happened and giving their commentary.
Yeah.
So you can't really tell who's the platform.
Well, because the access is easier to get, meaning that you can just go to somebody else's page, get a picture, and act like you were there. And write about it, and all of a sudden you're a blogger.
Right. The only way you'll survive in this industry is if you have connections and you're able to get information not everyone has access to.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or actually show up at the event and be and have
stuff people
first-hand information.
They might not want to show up. Some of the stuff they write, you might want to stay in the house.
Well, that brings a good point. Okay, so now you've transitioned a little bit from the Necole Bitchie that you know about, Heather, to where you are now. Tell us a little bit about that journey and why you decided to kind of change the way.
Because clearly it was profitable.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when I left my website, we were getting about 20 million page views a month. I was at the top. I had never seen that type of page views, them type of checks that was coming in. I mean, looking back, especially where I am now, because I'm on a salary now. And that's cool, but when you got those type of checks coming in, it's just a different type of thing. So, where was I going with the transition? I went to, I don't know if you guys know Bevy Smith.
Yes.
So I went to an event of hers. She had this event, and she's going through how she transitioned out of her career as this big salesperson at Vibe or whatever, and how she got into TV. And she had me on as a special guest at this event. But when it was my time to talk about my career, I just started crying. And I was like, I'm here and I'm supposed to be telling you guys about my amazing brand and this career, but I don't like my brand. I don't like my life. It was to the point where I was so drained by the celebrity news and gossip and the news cycle. And And I just knew it was time for me to move on. I mean, I was dreaming about waking up and working at an ice cream shop every day on the islands. That's when you know it's time to move on. You start daydreaming about like serving ice cream.
Yeah,
but
other
like
things.
you know.
Yeah.
So after I broke down at that event, and at that event she told me 7 was the year of completion, and it had been 7 years, and I was like, okay. It's time for me to figure out how to phase myself out of this website. And I had gave myself a promise. I was like, by this time next year, I'm going to have moved on. I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Right.
But I'm going to figure it out. I got a year.
So to clarify, just so people can understand, because I think a lot of times when people see bloggers and they saw your site and it looks glamorous and you're out of this part and you get to interview this person, what about it was heavy for you and negative for you?
Well, I think during that time, there was a lot of news stories about like the Black Lives Matter, like a bunch of black men getting killed. And we were, you know, as a site, you're supposed to be on top of it as well, even though you're a celebrity gossip site. I feel like you have to be on top of the news cycle when it pertains to us.
Right.
And a regular person can just look at those news stories and keep it pushing, but we have to dig deep because we have to have the facts.
Facts, yeah.
Man, that was secondhand PTSD, is it? Post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, because I'm internalizing everything I read. I started internalizing every guy that cheated on their girlfriend. So now I'm looking at relationships like all of them are just, So I'm internalizing every single, fighting on reality shows. Like, and it just seemed like everything was dysfunctional. And so since I'm taking this every day, the people in my life are bringing drama. You know, what you put out, you get back.
Right.
So now I'm attracting drama-filled people, drama-filled guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I have to make a change. And I just started thinking about what I wanted my legacy to be. I don't know if you guys know, but I lost my parents kind of early. Like they were 41 and 42 when they passed. I was 35 at the time. So I'm thinking, okay, that's 7 years from when my parents passed away. Wow. And I was like, if I was to die today, do I want my legacy to be that I serve good tea? I wanted it to be more impactful.
Right.
So, that was on my mind all the time, how I wanted to be remembered. And and
the young ladies that will read it.
I would see comments by them, and they started thinking that like black men didn't like black women, and just by the images they saw on the site. And I'm like, you're helping feeding into that by even posting certain things.
Right.
So I started caring about what they were reading. Like it was so much.
Yeah.
It was heavy.
Well, at least you made that transition and started having a conscience about that type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
kind
I
of
think
like Wendy Williams' aha moment when people were like, you can't even go there, Wendy, because, you know, the fact that she's talked about people for forever and then now she wants her anonymity, you know, about certain things. It's like the same type of thing when you put it out.
Yeah, you get it back. You're gonna eventually get it back, no matter who you are.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see. You're gonna see all the bloggers go through a transition, like every single one.
But
I just, for me, which, you know, of course I read it. I think we read it. We don't focus on that kind of stuff, but of course, when we do hot topics, we do talk about some things. I think that, I'm not sure about Yama, but I think sometimes we might be a little bit more affected by it simply because in some ways in the past, that basically is our lives with famous parents.
Yeah.
So we kind of understand what it is, but I also understand the facts that by and large, unfortunately, the entertainment industry is dysfunctional.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of talented, dysfunctional people.
Yeah,
it just really
dealing with a lot of demons and drugs and
just
alcohol
all the things that come with it. And I think that even if
just regular people dealing with extraordinary circumstances,
exactly.
I say that all the time. They're just regular people.
But I think that when it's reported, people, they look at it and it's glamorized. And at some point, you stop looking at the people as regular people, and they really are regular. They really are regular people. They make dumb choices, dumb decisions, just like we all do. But when you filter in fame and money and success and power, that's an entirely different animal. And so I can totally see how I just think that there's no balance.
Right, for sure.
Because, you know, like I said, we try not to report certain things. And there's some things that we even know specifically, like, girl, we saw, but I'm not going to say that on air. You know what I mean? Because it's personal for us, because if it was said, I remember this was some years ago, and one of the guys who used to work for Floyd, he actually killed his wife.
I think I remember that.
And his name is Isaac. And it was reported, people were calling me like, is your brother? I'm like, no. And that was our first taste of just negative reporting that was not factual. Like, her sister called me like, baby girl, I'm like, everything is fine. But we didn't have control over the uncle in Maryland that's calling, panicking. And then when we tried to go and get them to retract it, they were like, it's out there now. So when you experience that type of thing, then I think that you look at it differently, hence Wendy Williams. Yeah, because now all your tea is spilled out there in the way that, and I don't know how you can approach, because that's her job, but I still feel like there's a way to approach factual information and be thoughtful about it. You know what I mean? And not spill everything because my mom used to always say that, she tells me now, she was like, back then when our parents were at the height of their fame, news organizations were respectful about certain topics. Even if they knew it, they just didn't report it.
Right.
And so I just think that there has to be some type of balance, because of course taking all that negativity in is almost like living it. And this is why you have celebrities who are on drugs, who kill themselves, and people don't understand that. And you were basically a part of it and had to internalize all of that information and still report on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you can't escape it, because you wait, like I used to wake up like, oh my God, what did I miss while I was sleeping? You know?
Because that's that's that will to stay on top.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's definitely a lot of pressure to be in, and then just have your own life.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to have your own life. I think I said earlier, I got tired of being the elephant in the room when I walked in the room. The whole energy of the room shift. Right.
Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Go
whole
there and pretend like you know something else.
Nobody want to be that. Nobody wants that to happen to them when they walk in a room.
Because they're like, oh, she gonna say something about me. Let me get my lips and my cue.
And half the time, I wasn't even thinking about these folks. I'm trying to get a drink at the bar.
Yeah.
I'm trying to mind my business, and they paranoid. Like,
right. And you like, oh snap, I ain't gonna be this. That's interesting. So now you're on a different journey, and you're so you have oh my God, you got a ton of followers with it's Necole.
Necole,
yeah. So this is a whole community, of women, and so this transition is a little bit. I mean, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's still something that is online. It's that you can see, but at the same token, you're inspiring so many women, especially young women.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I left my website, to be honest, Necole came 2 months later. And it was only because I was scared to lose my audience. But then I realized later on, like, you can't take everybody with you. Like, and not everybody ready to make that change.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, Necole represents my evolution and growth as a woman.
Okay.
Like, it's a living, breathing, like, platform that represents me. Like, I went to Arizona straight off of my celebrity gossip site. Right before I switched paths, I went to Arizona. God told me go out there. I ain't asked no questions. I never went, but I was like, I'm going. So I went out there, and it was such a spiritual place, like mountains and healing. People go out there to retreat. And get away from.
It's beautiful.
I would hear Oprah talk about it all the time, and so I go out there and I lived a very. It's almost like I took a 2.5-year break from life. I lived a normal life. I had normal friends.
Right.
No one knew about Necole Bitchie or what that was.
Right.
And I got to discover who I was as a person, and I went through so much growth. And so I feel like I poured that into the website, and its content is reflective of that growth.
Yeah. That's great. What was I getting ready to say? Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I just drew a blank.
Did you? The fact that when you changed your website and you poured, the change that you made in yourself into that website, did you also like see a need for it when you interact with people? Have you seen that?
Well, at the time, when I left my old site, I was looking around, like I think I was in the airport and I was looking at magazines and I didn't see like a lot of black women. I didn't see any black women that month on the mag. They came like 2 or 3 months later. It was like a Black Girl Magic September. Yeah. But it wasn't any on the cover that month. And so I started thinking, where is young, like say 18 to 35? But I think Essence really got that 35 and older on lock at the time. So I'm like, where does 18 to 34 go? To talk about lifestyle stuff, relationship, beauty, and see their faces. Right. Things that are more empowering. Like everything for black women was like gossip and celebrity driven. Every site you went to, the whole front page was celebrity. And I saw the void for it. I was like, okay, I'm going to create. That's what I'm going to create. A site that, you know, it's funny because we came out the first week and we talking about like things you would never think women would talk about out loud, yeast infections and like getting like deep in, and it's like women be like, wait a minute, I relate. And we started touching on topics that people wanted to talk about with friends but didn't want to be judged. And it almost gave them permission to now talk about these type of things. Our sex portion of the site is the highest traffic driver. A sex article could get as many views as a breaking news story. It'll get 100,000 views within a 24-hour period. Wow. So I think we was just ready to bust out the door and talk about sex and everything. Like it's crazy, but that's the highest. That's the most popular category on the site.
And then also, too, I feel like God was preparing you because he put you in that place where you were getting, 20 million views and all this. So you could have been there and say, this isn't everything. And then still relate that to the next person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that
for sure.
will never or may never get to that level. And it's like, well, why are we talking about this now as opposed to something else? And it's like, because this is what's important.
Yeah, for sure.
For us all, to relate to. And
I'm proud of the site. Like people used to be like, what do you do? And I'd pause and I'm thinking of all these things in my head because I don't want to say I'm a celebrity gossip blogger. And I'm like, the fact that you're even embarrassed to tell people, like if you meet random people in the airport or something. Now when people ask me what I do, like I'm proud of the website. I'm proud to give them the web address or the Instagrams or whatever. And have them follow.
Well, it's not a lot of, like when you think of lifestyle brands, it's not a lot of African-American lifestyle brands.
It's not.
Because it's generally when it comes to our community and our culture, when it pertains to black women, it's usually negative.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
It's usually gossip. And I think that what people don't understand is that, and like I said, I definitely read some of the stuff. I just think that I come from a completely different perspective. So I'm able to digest it a little.
BS.
Yeah, I'm just like, and so if I go and I defend something, I get, just on my page, I get eaten up about it. I'm like, but why do you need to be negative? Like, I just don't understand it. But I just think that it's just a lot of unhappy people. And if there was more things on the internet feeding their soul and giving them information and something positive, you wouldn't have it. Like I said, it's just balance. You wouldn't have like I like to sip the tea like everybody else every now and then, but I'm just not going to rip somebody apart that I've never met to do so. And I just think that we as African-American women, and I've asked this question, we've actually had a show about that. We had, she's on The Real Housewives sometimes. Why can't I think of her name right now?
No.
We didn't have Marlo. We had, she brought her baby.
Shamir.
Shamir. We had her on. And the reason why we had her on is because when she had her baby, it's almost like people grow, people change, they move on from, but people weren't really accepting her growth. And I've changed and I have a child. And I think when you have a child, you do want to put more positive things out into the universe. And I was reading some of the comments like, why would you say that to her? Like, why would you say that about her child? Like, it was mind-boggling. And I really wanted to understand how she filtered through it. And why did she think she was just being attacked as a African-American? Because these were African-American women attacking her. And I mean, she had a lot of insight as to why, but I just think that if people had more options like your site to go to get helpful information, that it wouldn't be so negative because there's just not a lot of it. I don't really know a lot of.
I mean, we can't count on one hand. We can't count on one hand. Like, that's crazy.
And to go to a site where somebody looks like you.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Yeah.
do you think that, I think that everything happens for a reason. And I think that the change that you had in your life was basically a calling to basically impact millions of other women. How do you feel when you see the fruits of your labor when it comes to that? How does that make you feel, especially with young women?
Well, I don't know if you guys know, but a year after I left my celebrity gossip site, I put a video up on the internet talking about what I wish I had known before I left my popular celebrity brand. And at the time, I was struggling. And I let everybody know that, like, I'm halfway going broke. I'm about to be on couches again. It's just not going the way. And I mean, they ate me up on the internet, like ate me up, headlines, like from boss to broke and all types of stuff. But I feel like that was God using me, because people don't tell you about the rough spots when they're going through it at that moment. They might tell you 2 years later, like, girl, y'all 2 years ago, man, I went through this. But I told them about it right as I was in the pit of it, like deep in it. And I feel like it was meant to happen, because a year later, Will Packer acquired my site.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you, how that came about.
Yeah, so, but that.
But I think that that's the missing piece for most people. And like I said, I think sometimes because
all of us ain't gonna tell that though. We ain't gonna be that honest.
But this is the thing. I didn't think and really realize. Well, first of all, when you come from families like ours, we realize the peaks and valleys in life for sure. Like, it's negative and positive. Like, you can be filthy rich one day, that shit can be gone tomorrow. Trust me, I know. Like, we've lived it ups and downs, and that's just and I think that for anybody to think that their life is not going to be that is ridiculous, because it's the only way you grow. Yeah. And so I think that for them to say that it's absolutely ridiculous, you're starting something new. Yeah. Of course, it's just
they're like, she should have. I knew she should have stayed with her old site. Why didn't she keep her old site running? Why she tried to?
But that's when you don't grow.
Exactly that.
Unless you step off that cliff and do something that is scary and you don't know anything about, and that's how you grow. And it's funny because people write articles about what people post, and I'm never conscious. I mean, I post whatever at whatever moment. And I remember my friend, one of my really good friends, was really going through a rough time. And she did this entire video where she was crying. I'm thinking, what's going on? Like, her fiance died. Like, it was a lot of stuff going on. And, just different businesses weren't working and this, that, and the other. And I was like, well, let's just have lunch. And I was like, I lost my father. She lost her father. Those are devastating things that take years to even get through. You never, ever recover from it. You never, that's just a part of your new norm. Right. And she said, and I said, your business, my business is up and down. I don't have money sometimes. I have a lot of money. She was like, well, it doesn't seem like it. I was like, how does it not seem like it? You actually know me, but you're looking at a picture on Facebook? Right. Like, I was really kind of surprised at that, because I would have thought we talk about this. But people get so roped into the images that they see
on Instagram, Facebook, and all that.
As opposed to me, when you said, "Hey, I'm going through a hard time. I'm trying to start this new business," it should have been like cheering you on, like, dude, inspiring.
You got it, girl.
You got it, girl. Keep
like,
going, keep going, instead of being
like, what you need. I can send some resources your way or something.
I will say, Charlamagne did email me, and he was like, "What's your bank account number?" Like.
That's
trying to, I will say that he emailed me.
But that's probably a person who's been the peaks and valleys of trying to make it.
He knows what it's like to, he's been fired a million times. Like, he knows what it's like.
Exactly. That's just really shocking, though. But I think that there's purpose in your life and your decisions, and that really, because even though you got a lot of negativity, you inspired some people to take that step.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't show that part, if the acquisition had happened, it would be like that, because she always winning.
Yeah.
That's unrealistic. She always got one win after the other. That's not real.
And that's just but it's not life. And I think that, to me, I would think that people would know that, but I think that sometimes you just have to spell it out.
They do have to see it. We're going to talk more about Will Packer and your upcoming event when we come back from our break. We're going to go out right now with Shaka Khan and I'm Every Woman. Mean people are. Yes, they can be mean. We all can be mean. A little mean.
No, some stuff I would not say. I just wouldn't say about somebody I don't know. I just wouldn't. It's not my thing.
Yeah, but when folks don't know nobody, they just say whatever comes to their mind.
But it just be so not
They
factual.
be in their little house somewhere in Bodum.
Did you say little house?
Georgia.
Oh.
or Alabama or
He
something.
was like, oh my God. It's okay.
Don't at me.
Don't at you.
Yeah.
When I be saying the stuff I'm saying. Keisha said, I said Keisha. Listen to that. Keita said, don't at her. She ain't got nothing to do with the shenanigans that come out of my mouth.
None of us do, actually.
Heather's like, don't put me in that
Don't
either.
at me either.
Whatever. At me. Daughter of soul. Got an issue? That's where I am. Yeah, and Dr. Yama Brown and Yama Brown Alexander on
don't.
Facebook.
You already had a
play with
stalker.
me.
Don't do that. You already
A
had-
couple of them.
Yeah.
I had to block somebody this morning. I was like, what kind of mess you Ooh.
Do you have to do that now?
Block people?
Yeah.
She probably been
It's
had
funny
to do
because,
that.
sorry, I'm trying to get this together. Real
That's
quick,
okay.
You know.
She getting her phone situation
Yeah.
together.
It's funny because you were talking about someone earlier in her comments, and I was just like, I don't get no negative comments. Ever.
Really?
Ever. So I think it's one of those things where you change your energy, change your life, like change the
Yeah.
people that follow you. I don't get negative comments.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that's good. But
That's-
even the ones that I've gotten, I don't pay no attention to them. I mean, you can't internalize
But
yourself when people
but this
say
is the
stuff
thing.
on
It's not the fact that I
social
internalize
media?
what they say. It's just I'm really curious as to how they arrive at some of the stuff that they say. It baffles me.
They pulling it out of thin air.
But what?
They have no basis.
Yeah,
like
but-
a lot of that stuff that was on YouTube. We had Pastor Jamal Bryant on here, and they just went to town with that, and they had no basis. They were just saying stuff that they heard
Yeah, but
or made up.
I don't
Maybe
know.
it's just I'm boring. So
I mean, I can't know.
you
you're
gotta
not
be
boring.
popping to get like negative comments.
I mean, well, this is the thing.
I don't get a ton, but I definitely do get people say stuff every now and then. Like,
We knew from having him because of he's had some drama in his life and he's a pastor. I just didn't know the saints was so negative. Like church folks are mean, which
yeah.
really surprised me. Like really judgmental and really mean.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and that's when I had to turn the things off because at this point I'm like, it was just ridiculous to me. So I was kind of shocked at that because he really was being very transparent about his mistakes and the ups and downs and the things that I think people, just like you said, what you should hear
Right, for
to
sure.
get to the other side, and people were ripping him apart for it, essentially like they did with
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
which is
okay,
shocking
he
to
still
me.
be in the pulpit saying the same stuff. He don't care.
Yeah.
Like, he know what his message is and who he trying to reach, and you got to identify with people
That's true.
a lot of times. So, back to what we were talking about with Will. So, how did that come about? How did Will get behind you?
Look at me. I'm trying to figure out
Did
the
y'all
fast
have like
track to the story.
like a relationship prior
No.
to?
Well,
Okay.
I didn't have a relationship. I had met him once and I forgot all about it.
Okay.
When I lived in Atlanta. I met him once. But yeah, he it's funny because going into 2017, I had made a YouTube video talking about the things you should do to have a winning new year.
Okay.
And it was like clean out the clutter. Like I had got my apartment together because I was like, you got to get out of this rut, this depression. So I got my
Right.
apartment together. I got my media kits together. Like I really prepared myself for whatever goodness was going to come my way.
Right.
And I swear to God, that first week of January in that new year, I got an email from Will. And it just said, hey, I'm looking for Necole. I haven't seen her around in a while. I would love to talk to her. So and then people started texting me, Will Packer is looking for you.
Right.
So that's what happened. I got on the phone with him, and at the time he was looking for someone to run he wanted to have a digital platform as
Okay.
well. Because, he's got movies, his
Yeah.
TV, and digital. And he needed someone to help run it. I was thinking at the time, I'm barely running my site. Like, I done ran out of money. I'm not trying to come mess your money up. Like,
right.
so I think the lack of confidence in that and knowing I had never worked for a publication before ever. I guessed my way through the Necole Bitchy years. So when we got off the phone, I said, I don't think I'm the right person, but I have 5 referrals. You can reach out to these people instead. But he kept like every month after that, he would check in once a month. hey, still wondering if you thought about the opportunity. And I was just like, nah.
Wow.
And I think around the 4th or 5th month, I heard God, and God was like, you about to miss your blessing.
Wow. Wow.
And I remember he had called me, and I remember telling him, like, and he was like, where's your head at? Like, do you not want to be in the entertainment industry anymore? I was like, look, I'm studying nutrition. I'm about to go into fitness. Like, and I was just like, I'm tired. I ran out of resources with my website. I ran out of money. I think that sometimes you have to, like,
be honest.
Yeah, you have to be honest, and closed mouths don't get fed. You gotta let people know. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
So I told him that. We got off the phone. I think his assistant had called me maybe a week or two later when I was I guess she had saw I was in LA, and she was like, can you meet Will at a restaurant? And I was halfway going back to Arizona, and a guide was like, girl, if you don't turn this car around.
Wow.
Because at first I told her, girl, I'm 2 hours in my trip to Arizona. Like, I have to,
Yeah.
But man, when I tell you, I heard God's voice so loud, I pulled over into a hotel. I just happened to be cleaning out of storage, so I had a dress in the back. So I put on a dress because I'm like, act like you going to a job interview.
Right.
Like, you don't know what this can come of this.
Right.
Go there with an open mind. I drove back to LA. I was there, like, I got there before he did to the restaurant. And, like, we talked, and I told him how passionate I was about empowering Black women and just the direction of my site and what I've been doing. And when we left, he just texted me, and he said, if it's meant to be, it will be. Pray on it. And I saw his spirit in that text. Like, he was a really great person.
Yeah.
And so when I went home, I said, you know what? I'm going to go work for Will, because that would put me in a position to put other Black women on. It might not be my site, but at least I can hire people in these positions and, bring everybody up together. So I made a decision. I'm going to work for Will.
That was dope.
So I just kept reaching out to him like, okay, like, I'm ready. I'm ready for my job offer. And he kept saying, we're interviewing other people. And I'm thinking, you just chased me down for 4 to 5 months, and you going to tell me you interviewing other people?
Right.
So I was just like, man, he's about to spring up a website. It's going to be a competitor on my site, maybe, because he did say he want to target women. I was like, nah, I'm not about to let that happen. So I sold everything. Like, I sold every bit of clothing. I sold my car. I sold everything. And I moved to New York with 2 suitcases. And I lived in an apartment with 3-4 other roommates. It was a rotating room. But I was like, I don't know where my next check is coming, but I'm about to, like, really grow this site. I'm not giving up on my website. And during that time, he contacted me, and that's when he told me he decided instead to invest in my website. And before he even got it out, I started crying. Like,
Wow.
like, I was crying before he finished the sentence, because it was like plot twist. Like, So that's how it all came about, and it was like a 4-month like negotiation period. I just was very paranoid because I didn't know anybody who had ever sold a business before, especially a Black woman, and I didn't know what it meant for my brand. I didn't know if they were gonna come in and change the voice, or it was gonna turn into something completely different. It was him and another guy who's a COO, Will Packer Media. I'm like, I'd have to work under 2 guys. I don't know if they're gonna understand. We might want to talk about vaginas over here every now and then.
Right. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it eventually went through, and I swear for a year after the acquisition, it happened September 2017. I didn't exhale until like September 2018.
Yeah.
Because I was like, when is it going to happen? When the change is going to happen?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But they allowed me to run my brand.
That's great.
They never make, like, there's times when something might happen, like we get an advertiser that I feel just does not represent my new direction. I'm like, that could have been on Necole Bitchy, but this is going to confuse the audience if we promote this. And they, even though it's turning down money, they're like, I appreciate your stance. I support you. We won't do the ad buy.
Okay.
So I look at that and I'm like, I made the greatest decision of my life. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably feel so good inside by
Yeah.
doing that too. Yeah.
But it took a minute. Like I said, I was paranoid for a year. Like just,
But you should be.
yeah, I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Well, it
so
worked
often
out.
you think powerful men, you think, oh, they're going to control what I say, change the voice of what I want to say
Everything,
on the
yeah.
site. Because lots of times when you have people who are investing money, they feel like, because people don't understand the term investment just means you're just investing. You don't control or change
Yeah.
what's said. And sometimes people don't want to be silent investors.
And not only that, but when someone invests in your brand or acquires your brand, you got to be profitable.
Yeah.
You think it's free money. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
you got a ton of profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not just giving you money and putting it in
Right.
your bank account.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah, make
Yeah.
some money
So
for
when
us.
you hear
paid.
people and they do all these rounds of investors and now they have 20 million and 40 million, they got to pay that money back.
Back,
You know,
right.
they got to
generate the money. Yeah, generate the income.
yeah.
Pressure.
So tell us about Elevate Her 2019
Yes.
in Atlanta.
Well, it was inspired. I was in New York when we came up with the idea to do Elevate Her. And it's funny because I wasn't even living in Atlanta, but I was like, Atlanta needs this.
Right.
And for me,
Yes, ma'am.
for me, a black man came along and helped me with my brand, helped elevate me. And I felt like to give back, I needed to go out and elevate other women.
Right.
And so that's what the event is all about. I wanted to get a bunch of women-owned businesses in one place. We called it a crawl, but we were like, we're not about to get people to get in their cars and go to each business.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
gonna be a lot. You just put them all in one building together.
Right.
So yeah, we have 25 women-owned brands at this event. We also have panels that I'm really excited about. One is featuring women who have launched businesses in their living rooms, and now they're on shelves at major retailers like Target and Sally's and Ulta.
and that's so good. Mm-hmm. And African American owned too.
Exactly. And one just sold her brand. So I know another person has been acquired as a black woman now.
Yeah.
And then one.
Did she ask you if you had any pointers before she was getting ready to sell?
No, I just
Okay.
met her. I just found
met her.
out about
Okay.
her. And I was like,
Okay.
she has to be on a panel, like to
Yeah.
talk about that experience. I want to know if she was as paranoid as I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, probably.
And then we have a young lady that started a foundation line for, as she said, the forgotten shades. You know, it has varied shades of brown foundation, and she's going to be on the panel. And I wanted her on the panel because she's in the beginning stages. She's still packaging the stuff herself and shipping them herself.
Right.
Then we have a panel, and I have like a lady from a producer from CNN. I have a writer from Forbes on it,
Okay.
a publicist, and a lady from H&M.
Okay.
The head of culture and diversity at H&M.
Okay.
They're gonna teach people how to pitch themselves to get in, like, whether it's go out and do your 30-second pitch when you meet somebody at an event. You never know, like, if they could give you the next opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're gonna teach
It's
you how
usually
to.
strangers that put you on before
Man,
it's people
listen,
that you
yeah.
know.
And the thing is, when I go into a room, I shrink myself. Like if I met you at an event, you would never know that I had the website Exo Necole, or
Right.
because I shrink in rooms. I want to go in a corner. I'm an introvert, so I thought that would be a perfect panel to
Yeah.
allow people to step into their power and really know how to pitch their brands. But also the lady from Forbes and from CNN, both after they interviewed me, were like, do you know any other women entrepreneurs I should be put on to? And they told me that people just don't know how to pitch themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you need to be on the panel and
Yeah.
like tell us.
Tell us how
Tell
to
us
pitch.
what the key is, to get on these national platforms. So I'm very, very excited about that panel. And then there's a conversation with me and me talking about my whole transition and acquisition and the whole
Are
process.
you gonna video this? Is there gonna be? You need to
There's
sell
gonna be
the video
it's
of
like-
this.
I can't tell you how
for
many
people
people
that can't come.
I can't tell you how many people are asking me, can I do a paid where they pay and they get
Like
to
a
watch
workshop.
it live?
Yeah,
like a
web.
live stream.
Yeah, stream.
Yeah.
So you invite them to Facebook and then
Yeah,
do a
that
Facebook
would've
Live in a
been-
private Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm all about monetizing all the way. So we'll do that next year. But we will.
That's
be
a good idea,
That is
though.
a good idea. But we'll put the videos out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just put the panels together recently. Like it was supposed to be strictly about the vendors, but then I started adding things. It became a little festival because my idea was big.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell y'all, we had a Will Packer Media had a retreat in December where I told them about this event and another one that we were launching called Pajamas and Lipstick. And halfway through me telling the Will Packer Media staff about these events we wanted to do, like, I got in my head and I was like, you sound delusional right now. Like, because the dream sounded so big at the time. And it's like, how you going to pull this off? Like, you got very limited staff. You really think you're going to hold this big event and have all these vendors and
you like, watch me work.
Right. and I'm doing it. I looked up today and I'm like, you remember you were in your head and like, you really sound crazy telling them all these big dreams you have. We've already done Pajamas and Lipstick. It was a hit. It was a success. And now we have this event Saturday.
That's
awesome. What do you think contributes to the fact that they basically report that African American women are the fastest growing small business owners in the country? What do you think is contributing to that or helping with that?
Seeing other Black women succeed. And I only say that because when I was 16, the only person I knew to follow was, I saw Oprah on TV.
Right.
And she was on this tour speaking. And I was like, I want to be just like her because I seen white women in line. It was like a whole line of white women. I'm like, who this black woman with all these white? But
who did?
Yeah. But when you see it, it looks like it's within reach.
Yes.
And now, like, I don't know about you guys, but I have a whole timeline full of Black women entrepreneurs who are out here doing it. They're buying houses, they're owning businesses, they're opening up shops, they're going on tours, they're launching conferences. I know Malik, she did a retreat. Like, Sarah Jakes Roberts. I remember she was talking about Women Evolve, and now it's huge.
Yes.
It's in its second year. So and that's why I tell people, be careful what you're following on social media. Because you want to follow the things that influence you in that type of way.
Right.
And I think it's just more women having access to women who are doing great things and saying, if she can do it, I can too.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
For sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is. So it's going to be at Mason Fine Arts Gallery, Saturday, August 3rd from 12 to 5.
12 to 5, yep.
12 to 5.
12 to 5.
Okay. Y'all make sure if you haven't got your are there tickets left?
Yep, there's a few. There's a few. I don't know about if they'll be on Friday, but they're only $20. I try to keep them reasonable because I do want people to shop the businesses. So even though I was adding panels and all this extra stuff to it, like there's gonna be henna and astrologists there because astrology is really big on our website. They love them horoscopes.
Yes. The young people really love that. Yes.
There will be beauty treatments and there's going to be a social stage with Dana Blair hosting the social stage.
Okay.
So there's going to be quite a few things going on, but I didn't want to raise the ticket prices and people come only for those things and not patronize the businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
very
awesome.
smart. Very smart. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story with us. And I'm sure a lot of people were blessed by it. And hopefully y'all got some good pointers. And if you didn't, come to
Elevate Her
Yes.
Saturday,
Yes.
12 to 5, Atlanta, Georgia, Mason Fine Arts Center.
All right, y'all. Thank you, Necole Kane.
Thank you.
We appreciate you
for having me.
Tell everybody where they can find you again.
On social media.
They can find me. They can find me. Well, Exo Necole, Exo Necole, or at Hello Necole, HELLO Necole.
Okay. And NecoleKane.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my website.
All right. We are going to go out with Donna Summer, and she works hard for the money. I know that's right.
So appropriate, Keita.
You're watching Soul Sisters on Pure Soul, powered by Isaac Hayes on Dash Radio.